All right, guys, welcome to the It's More Than Just Money movement channel. If it is your first time watching, please click on that subscribe button, click on that notifications bell, comment, let us know what your thoughts are, let us know where you are watching from. And if you've got something that resonates with you that either of us are going to say, just let us know what that is. Now, today we are having a special conversation right at the It's More Than Just Money movement store at Mall of Africa. Shout out to Mall of Africa for the collaboration. Shout out to Souk, Mall of Africa for the collaboration. And I'm not alone today. I've got some co-hosts that are working with me today. I've got Mr. Ntando Maseko. He's going to introduce himself right now. I call him coach because he's a business coach. And then we've got Mrs. Grace. I said Mrs. Hey, maybe I'm prophesying. Miss Grace Moshesh. She's an author, she's a strategist, she's a business speaker, and she's going to get an opportunity to introduce herself. But let's start with the ghost man, the coach.
I'm feeling this ghost vibe now.
Are you feeling like a ghost?
I think I'm getting used to it.
You're getting used to it.
It's getting comfortable.
You're doing a great job being a ghost.
I am Ntando Maseko, and welcome to everyone joining us live. I will be ghosting. I'm not in the frame. So when you get to watch this on YouTube, I'll be very invisible. But I am the author of this. Can I touch it?
Yeah, you can.
Look at the eyes.
Come.
And the other.
Oh, so I'm sitting with authors, by the way. She's an author. He's an author. Where's your book? Oh, there. So this is the book he's talking about. Welcome to Financial Freedom. Get in the game and play to win.
Yes.
That's the author.
Yeah, that summarizes me and the game. I coach entrepreneurs specifically around high performance and managing your money and winning in the game. So my gig is just make it easy to do business for entrepreneurs.
Where did that start?
Which part?
The passion to make things easier for entrepreneurs.
I suffered.
You suffered?
So I had a tough time figuring things out in business. And like my friend says, this thing's a koisha when we get into it. We get into business not knowing what's coming. And as you go, you see flames, you struggle to grow, you struggle to find customers, and you struggle to find solutions around the challenges that then come. And the few people that start to teach you try their best, but for some reason you learn it makes sense in class, doesn't make sense when you're trying to apply it. And that disconnect, I was trying to come up with a way to make it easy for someone like me who was struggling to apply what they were learning. Find a way to teach it in a way that it can be applied. So when I learned it for myself and started teaching others, that's where the passion came. And then I met you, and you forced me online, as uncomfortable as that was. But yeah, it's an interesting gig. And now I'm ghosting on the It's More Than Just Money.
You almost said on the Mind Your Business.
Hey,
you forgot to tell everyone you've got a radio show. So
I've got a
you think this is your radio show, Mind Your Business.
I almost hijacked you. That's the name of the radio show that I host, Mind Your Business. It's just talks about entrepreneurship with entrepreneurs. So that's my gig in short.
Thank you so much. Grace Dumela. What's your story?
What is my story?
Yeah.
Okay. So my name is Grace Moshesh. I am an author, I'm a strategist, and I'm a business speaker. I write on forgiveness and basically purpose-driven topics because I believe that all of us have a great seed within us and we just need to water it and allow it to grow.
Where did that desire to speak on purpose or to help people find their purpose come from? And what does that have to do with the work that you're doing as a business speaker?
So that's a very good question. I think from a very young age, I was always conscious of who I was. So I speak a lot on identity because I feel like when you discover who you are, it's almost predictable to find out where you're going to land. So from a very young age, growing up in a very small town, well, there's smaller towns than where I grew up.
What's the name of the town? I'll tell you if it's small or big.
It is called, the name of the town that I grew up is Butterworth, Etowa.
Okay.
Yes.
Medium to small.
Medium to small.
Yeah.
You've been to Etowa?
No, I haven't been.
Okay.
But I've been to the Eastern Cape. I've worked closer to Butterworth.
Yes.
Yeah, Mtata side.
Mtata side.
Yeah.
So I'm a stone throw away from where Mandela was born. That's my claim to fame.
Throwing that in.
No,
I like throwing Mandela's name in. That's how powerful that name is.
You know, it's just...
You just have to know that
President
my link.
President Nelson Mandela, just a stone throw away, sipped on the same water from the same river, but it's fine. Doesn't... So I think just from a young age, growing up in a underdeveloped town, developing now, you know, you get to dream because you don't have much to work with. You know, you only just have your TV because you leave your house and there's not much happening out there. And it's easy to get stuck in the small town mentality if you don't actively and intentionally go out to find your purpose and find your identity and work on who you know you're supposed to be. So that's where purpose came in.
Continue. Yeah, continue.
That's where purpose, thank you. That's where purpose came in, and that's why I'm so passionate about it.
So, Coach, there's something she said in describing her story, and she spoke about knowing yourself and having confidence, right? How does that translate into building a business? Like, if you know yourself and you know what you're good at, how does that translate into then building a business that could potentially be successful?
All right. So the challenge with the question is, it's a chicken and egg for me. It's, do you need to know yourself to start a business and experiment and grow, or you can do both at the same time? And why I say it's a challenge for me is there are many people who are at a stage where self-awareness is not yet at a high level, but they've got to survive, they've got to feed families, right? So I say, get on the journey to know yourself. That will help. Actually, you grow your business much faster and if you are self-aware. But even if you are not, you can start and figure things out as you go.
Is that not easier said than that start and get to know yourself, then you can start on your journey to business? Now, a lot of people start.
Yeah.
And along the way, they give up. And somebody like me and you can say, this person doesn't know who they are. Maybe perhaps that's why they don't have the confidence to move it. But is that not easier said than done?
Not really, actually. If you look at the many people that start businesses that inspire, many small business owners that start and grow businesses.
Yeah.
If you sit with them and do any self-awareness activity, they will tell you that they are short because they didn't know a lot about themselves. All they knew was, I've got this passion, I'm going to start, right? So that's why I'm saying starting and growing is not supposed to be stopped by the fact that you haven't done and you haven't talked to someone who can make you self-aware. Some of the self-awareness it's through instinct. Some things people tell you, witness, you're talented in this, and then you become more aware as you go, right?
Okay.
So there's levels to it. There's a level that's instinctual. There's a level that's absorbed in your environment as people are telling you that you're good at this. We like it when you do this. That is all you becoming more aware and you becoming more mature. Where I was going was, even if that doesn't happen, you can figure it out if you go out and experiment with a business that you think you'll pull it off. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, you're learning. You're growing, you're becoming more mature.
Yeah. So, Grace, you're listening to Coach and he's saying sometimes self-awareness comes from people saying you're good at this or you're good at that. Doesn't that place one in a position where they're getting external validation, but they're working on self-awareness? Like, why do I need another person to tell me this is what you're good at, this is what you're not good at? Yet I'm working on being self-aware.
And being self-confident.
And being self-confident as well.
No, definitely. I think what happens is, as people, it's within our human nature to look for the negatives first, then the positives. So we always think worst case scenario before we think best case scenario. So if we have to rely on ourselves and not seek external validation or external confirmation or just assistance, then we will talk ourselves out of our destiny. Because the voices within ourselves are usually the loudest voices, especially on your journey as you are starting. It's usually the negative voice that overpowers the positive voice within your own mind. And that's why mentorship, and I'm sure we'll get into that, that's why mentorship is very important, to say that I want to speak to someone who's walked this path, who's gone through the insecurities that I'm currently facing, who's going through the self-doubt, who's gone through the dark moments that I'm struggling with. Because if that person can show me that they were where I was and they made it out and they're now living their best lives, it will give me hope to say that what they see in me is what they have in themselves, and that's a seed that you're willing to grow.
Yeah. You know what my challenge is about what both of you are saying, as your coach, is that we are saying that if you've got no one to affirm you, right, you won't be able to start, or you won't be able to do anything. Like, for instance, she's saying you need to seek mentorship. Yeah, it goes back to, in the church role, they say you must have a spiritual father. And then I asked, if you don't have a father, what must happen? If you don't have a mentor, what must happen? And I always say that, okay, maybe I shouldn't even say what I always say. I'm posing it to you to say, what happens if I'm starting and there's no mentor? There's no mentor. There's no person that I can mirror myself against, because that's essentially what a mentor is. Somebody I can look at and say, but I can bounce some ideas off of this guy. But what if that guy is just not there? I mean, I'm fortunate. Sometimes I sit with you as a friend and as a coach, and I say, and I can talk however I want. And you're able to say, hey, Chief, there you are making a mistake. But not many people have got that. What then I'm saying to those people?
So you're actually saying what I was saying. What I was saying was, even if you are not self-aware, self-awareness is something that you develop over time through external validation, and it's absorbed from the environment as you get feedback. But even if you are not self-aware, you can start that business that you want to gamble on. Sometimes it will work, sometimes it doesn't, which means a lot of the learnings now are internal, right? If you don't have a mentor, what you're looking for before you do anything, actually, and what Grace means when she says a lot of the voices you're battling with are negative and they're internal. What you're battling in is certainty. You're battling what? Certainty. Okay. Certainty. As humans, we have a need for certainty. You want to be sure that something will work before you try it. And it's at different levels.
Yeah, but if you need to be sure that something will work before you do it, you're not going to do it because you're never going to be sure.
That's the thing. What makes you succeed is because the level of certainty that you need before you start is very low. As long as you like it and you feel it's going to work, you go. There are many people that will do research for 3 years before they are sure enough to even try. And that cuts across everything. So what I'm saying is, you do things that build certainty, or you get used to just starting small, starting when you're not sure. That builds your self-awareness over time as well. It's not just validation from outside, but the certainty thing, there's different thresholds. It's like even when you're buying, there's a buyer certainty level, right? Before you buy a book, before you buy anything, you need to have a certain level of certainty that you're not making a bad purchase, that this is value for money. Sure. For some people, that certainty is low. They see it, they like it, they'll pay, and they move on. For others, even if it's a book, they want to go to the back of the shop, read it a bit.
Yeah.
Before that.
But I think that example becomes very vague in the sense that, let's say we're talking about taking your life savings and putting them in a business.
Yeah.
That's different from purchasing a book. You understand? So and the level of certainty one would need to actually be able to start is different from someone that's saying, I'm not sure if I should buy the t-shirt or the book or whatever. We're talking now, you're taking your life savings, you're putting it in a business and you're risking it. And I'm sure there are people here that have risked their life savings. And that's a matter of life and death. If it doesn't work, it's not like, this book is boring. it's a different story altogether. Yeah, and
Not that it's a different story. What I said was there's levels of certainty that we need differ per individual.
okay.
So when it comes to life savings, how certain I need to be on a deal before I take all my savings and pour it into that deal, and how certain you need to be differs.
Okay, go deeper, Papa, on that one.
So
Tell us- yeah.
with, let's say between you and me, we get our savings and we get 100,000, and there's a business opportunity here. Because you have the heart of a hustler, someone else will have just the heart of a gambler, and I will be more risk averse. The level of certainty that each of us needs before they make the call to get into that deal is different.
Okay,
The
well,
heart
what do you need? What
moves
do you need to
faster.
be certain? And I'm gonna move to
need differs per person, but in general, what I need is someone who will assure me that it's a good deal, research that will assure me that it's a good deal, social proof that will assure me that it's a good deal, those things.
So it's all external.
It's external, and sometimes it can even be internal. If my hunch is saying no, for me, if I'm risk averse, then I need a lot of certainty and I need a lot of convincing before I get into it.
So meaning all the evidence could be saying it's a good deal, but if you've got something within you that says it's not a good deal, you won't do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So Grace, you've written a book on forgiveness, and I'm just trying to understand, right? You talked about market research, data analysis, and all of those things that are required before you put out any product into the market. Is this a purpose-written book, or was it written because there's a need for people to forgive in society?
So the book is purpose-driven, and there is a great need. In the world, in society, within our continent, outside, I had to also find a deep place within myself. I had to get out of my own way to write this book.
Did you need to forgive someone?
I still have to forgive someone.
So you haven't forgiven the person when you wrote the book?
No. This book is not about a particular person.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, it's not about a particular person, but so I was not someone who forgave. I thought I was a nice person. I still think I am a nice person, but there was a part of me that harnessed a darkness within me, and I hid it behind the smile. I hid it behind, going to church religiously, which I still do. But I mean, you act a role, but then you have to be honest with yourself. You have to self-reflect, and you have to understand who you are, and you need to see the hindrances to your destiny. So I found that one of the hindrances to where I wanted to go was unforgiveness. And that was a spiritual journey that I was on when this book was birthed through me. And I felt that I just don't want to put my business out there. I'm a private person. I'm introverted to a very large extent, and I don't want people to know my weaknesses. So I was just like, you know what, maybe I should pass this. Maybe I should write on something that will hold less depth. But then because I knew that it was bigger than me, and I had to get out of my own way, I had to get out of my own head, and I had to not be conceited. I had to not be selfish. And it's not easy to do that, because human nature is like, just make it about you. You're the one who's putting in the effort. You're the one who's doing the work.
Yeah.
So let it be about you. So yes, it was definitely purpose-driven, and the other thing that you said.
Okay, purpose-driven, and there's a need.
And there is a need.
There's
Thank
a
you.
need for it.
Definitely.
All right. So how does one match? I'm coming back to you, Mr. Coach. Yeah, making sure you've got a mic. How does one match their capacity to feel a need with the purpose that they feel inside? So for instance, if you look at some of the work that entrepreneurs do, some of it is socially driven, but there's a need and there's a profit that the entrepreneur is going to make from that, right? Which could be the exact same thing. I feel a purpose to do this thing, and there's a need for it, and I'm going to make some money out of it. How does one then identify and find that sweet spot, like you always say?
All right. So I
And
think,
that's a good question.
That was a good question.
Yeah, no, I know.
King, you have to answer it.
No. It's for you.
You wrote the book. All right. So I think to find the sweet spot, you're balancing two things. Because you are a human that is spending every day, that needs to earn every day and survive. You're balancing following your passion and building wealth for yourself, right? So the question you're asking is, can you do something? And you can. There's a concept called ikigai. It's a
Teach us the concept. We want to know.
It's a Japanese concept.
What is it
It
called?
says if you want to do
What's the concept called?
ikigai.
Ikigai.
Maybe I'm saying it the wrong way, but ikigai.
Ikigaki.
Ikigai.
Gai. Okay.
Right? It says that sweet spot for you doing work that you will be passionate about, that you will not give up on, that you will enjoy every day, where you, at the end of your life, say, yes, I lived a life worth living. That sweet spot is found in the middle of work that you love, work that you are good at, work that the market needs, and work that people are willing to pay for.
Okay.
So you love it, you're good at, the market needs it, and they are willing to pay for. Those four things need to be ticking together. But sometimes you find there's work that you love, people need it, but they're not willing to pay for. Then you need to either be smart around how you're going to get paid doing it, or if you absolutely still love it and you want to get that fulfillment and actualization, you have to figure out how you're going to earn money outside so that you can do this on the side and finance it.
Okay, meaning going to work, produce an income, and then use that income
Use a portion
to
of...
fund your passion. But if the passion is not making money, why must I put money into it?
No, it doesn't have to make money, because for you, it's not about money when it comes to that
It's
thing.
more than just money.
It's more than just money.
Okay.
Look behind. Look behind. For you, when it comes to that particular, Mother Teresa, for example, for her, it wasn't about the money. So the question of,
But Mother Teresa died a very wealthy woman.
not because...
One of the wealthiest people on earth is Mother Teresa.
Not because the 20, 30 odd years when she started doing what she was doing, she was chasing for money and looking for funding and doing all that. She was doing what was in her heart with excellence and as scale, as much as she can, right? The money became just a consequence that she could not have seen coming. She's an easy example because it's a name we all know, but try to...
No, Mother Teresa. Oh,
Yo, you
I made it sure.
But I'm referencing her because she's an easy example of doing something purposeful and that you're passionate about. And that might not pay you because there's a million people doing that thing and not getting anywhere near the money that she made, right? For them, it's not about money. So what Ikigai says is it's not wrong to go and do that work as long as for yourself and for your family, you've got something else that you could do that will make the money, and then you finance that dream.
I love that. Grace, is there something else that you are doing that is financing the dream? And how do you merge the two?
So what I'm also
And the
doing,
dream, I mean your passion work, the book that you've written, the people that you are engaging. Is there other work that you are doing that is financing that?
that basically supplements.
Yes.
So what also pays the bills, because let's just be frank about it. What also pays the bills is the fact that I get to work with people as a business strategist or business psychologist, as you had termed it the other day. I get to speak to people about their purpose, about who they are, and just how to do the inner work to find the type of industry they're supposed to be operating in to gain the optimal results out of their lives. So I have clients that I have one-on-one sessions with. I remember I had a lovely lady, that I worked with. And just on our first interview or conversation, because I like to make it very comfortable for people. I don't like to make it too corporate. And it was over video call. And I said, let's grab a cup of coffee because coffee is always great. Just to calm her down, because she's saying, I don't know what my purpose is. And this is a lovely lady. She is well educated. She's smart. She's driven, married, children, and all of that. And she started crying over the meeting because she was saying, I feel overwhelmed because I feel like I'm not doing what I'm meant to do. So then during that conversation, we went back to identity. Who do you think you are? Who do you believe you are? Who did you know yourself to be when you're growing up? And as we started talking about family and started talking about, how she was raised and who she was at the age of 5, 6, 7, 8, we realized that her mom was a seamstress and she also liked clothes and she looks great in clothes and she's creative. By the time we're done with the conversation, a few tissues later and a few teary moments, she discovered that she wanted to go into retail and she wanted to go into fashion design. And it just took one session. Did I make a whole lot of money out of that? Not from one session, but did I get fulfilled? Definitely. Just seeing her have her aha moment, that light bulb moment, was so much for me. So I do that work. I do work with entrepreneurs, small to medium enterprises to repackage their branding, to repackage their offering, and just basically to maximize the earning potential. I do that. But I think my purpose is to literally bring light to people, just to make them aware of what they currently don't see about themselves, about the opportunities that are there for them and for their businesses too.
Thank you. Should we follow our purpose or follow man? Tell me, Chief, I want to know.
That's a question that I want to pose to you, actually.
To me?
Yeah,
but I'm asking you.
No. You should ask the author of It's More Than Just Mine.
But I asked you first. Should we follow our purpose? And you're a business coach. I want to know, should we follow our purpose or should we follow man?
All right, so if...
We don't say, show me the money.
Actually, I use that slogan, show me the money, in my workshop. We say
Jerry Maguire.
It used to be from Jerry Maguire, but we flipped it a bit and we say talk is cheap, show me the money.
Sure.
Because remember, sometimes I talk to unemployed people who are starting business.
You've done work with people in Venda, in the deep rural.
Across the country.
I don't think you went there and said, follow your purpose. The guy has to eat his hand.
No.
I want to know, that's why I'm asking, should we follow our purpose or should we make money? Which one? And answer me unreservedly.
For me, it is...
And I'm creating a balance, you see? Yeah.
What balance? There's a bias. But anyway, for me, then, the reason why I use that slogan in the workshops with unemployed people to say, talk is cheap, show me the money. The lesson is, a lot of the times we've gone home with explanations of, I'm trying to do this. And we are not aware that we've explained that we are trying for 6 months and we have no results. The lesson is get results on the table every day.
Get results on the table every day.
Every day.
Okay.
So I challenge them within the 5 days to start selling and make some money. And you are not allowed by day 3 to be coming with explanations. So my question is, there's 2 types of entrepreneurs that are going to come and do presentations because everyone has to present, right? You're either an entrepreneur that has money or one that has explanations. So which one are you? So you're supposed to say, today I have money or today I have explanations, and then you talk.
So when you get into, okay, but what are the things that you tell them?
So this is the reason.
Go to, like, give us like a practical example where you worked with a group of entrepreneurs that were not even high-level entrepreneurs. They were starting, they're hungry. And you said, I don't want explanations. I want you to go and make money and come back and show me the money. What did they do?
So the whole structure is identify all the problems and challenges that the community has, all the needs and wants that people in the community have. So when you have challenges, problems, needs, wants, if you can come up with a whole long list of all of them. I always say, if there's a want, if there's a need, if there's a challenge, if there's a problem, there's a business behind it.
If there's a want, there's a need, there's a problem, there's a challenge, there's a business.
There's a business.
Okay, explain. What do you mean?
And what I always then use sometimes is, I will give the challenge of witchcraft and say, if the problem is witchcraft, what is the business opportunity, right? And everyone laughs, and then they start coming up with, oh, you could start a church, you could sell Bibles, you could sell outfits that people relate to, and get creative and come up with. Actually, even behind that horrible thing, someone can make money, right?
Yeah.
And I then challenge them to say, give me on the list. We list all the stuff, challenges, needs, wants. We list all of them and say, give me the one that you think there is no business behind. If anyone dares try with any one of them, we then come up with a lot of different small business ideas that you could start because there is that problem, right? And then you're coming up to the second phase. Of all the different businesses we can start, what can you start quickly within a day? And then we eliminate the ones that need time, we eliminate the ones that need money, we look at the ones that you can start in a day. And then we say, for you, when you look at the list that's left, which one can you start? Because for tomorrow, it's an experiment. I need you to start and I'll teach you how to do it. I'll teach you the whole process, but I need you to come with results, right?
So let's say I was waking up tomorrow morning and I'm that guy that you've just described. What is the business that I need to start?
No, it's not, you're starting from the end of the process. This process starts with identifying those four.
Yeah.
Problems, challenges, needs, wants, and then for you to say, which problem would I have a passion to solve? And then we come up with different ideas that you could start a business with. It differs as you move around communities because communities have different challenges, different needs and wants, right?
Okay.
So in that particular community where you will be, we will have identified a nice long list. And then you say, okay, I think I could do something around bakery. Umama is an oven. Because now you're linking your capacity, whatever it is that you have, to the needs and wants that you think you can try and solve.
So you basically look at what you have.
What you have, your capacity, the resources, you look at the needs and the wants, and you look at where you can start, because every business model has got levels where you can start. There's always somewhere in the space where you can start with very little.
All right.
Even a bakery without baking equipment, you could always start by buying and selling. You could always start by cutting deals with people who have started. There's always a way. So the process starts with identifying the needs and the wants, understanding your capacity, then figuring out a way to start quickly. That's the thing.
Sharp. Grace, so tell me, so you're having a conversation with one of his entrepreneurs that he's just coached.
Yes.
He comes to you and says, I've learned how to make money, but I'm not fulfilled because I don't even know what my purpose is, but I'm making money. How does the conversation then unfold moving forward? Because maybe perhaps for that entrepreneur, it's a very serious matter. They are making the money, but they're not fulfilled. They're not happy, and they're trying to figure out what their purpose is. He's taught them to make money. They've gone through all that process, all those steps. He comes to you and says, I'm making money, lots of it, but I'm not fulfilled. And Ellie, I'm sure you can comment on that as we open it up to the floor as well.
That's a very good question. I think, actually, I believe, not even I think, I believe that your purpose can yield profits.
Your purpose can yield profits.
Profits,
Okay.
yes. You can make the biggest profits of your entire life by following your purpose. And your purpose would look like something that comes easily. So something that you can wake up and almost do effortlessly. Would you need to still go to school, harness that, grow it, water it, make it work? Yes. But it must come from an organic place. It shouldn't be something that you're following because Makelwane is doing it. You know, the Jones are doing it and it's working for them. It must be something that comes from a place of self-actualization. And that's when we have to do the work. So we can't be lazy about it.
So what do we mean by self-actualization for people that might not know who Abraham Maslow is?
Yes. So self-actualization is sitting down and saying, who am I? What makes me feel like I belong? What makes me feel secure? What makes me feel that I've got value to add? What makes me feel like I can actually change an environment with something that I don't have to get out of my own skin or out of my own character to achieve? So self-actualization can also come through conversations, and this is what we touched on earlier on when we started this conversation. To say, can external validation assist you? Yes, it can. Because sometimes people can point out things about you that you haven't discovered yet, and especially positive things about you. The negatives also work because constructive criticism is always key. You can't neglect that. But working on that and saying, this is what comes naturally to me, this is what I can do in my sleep, and if I apply, more resources on this, if I grow this, if I nurture it, if I water it, I can build an empire from this one thing that comes organically to me. So there's definitely profit to be made in your purpose. There's always a need for what you have. You just need to package it well and find your tribe. There's always a need for what you have. There's no one who has something that does not have value. It's either you are not aware of what you have, or you're just speaking to the wrong people.
So, Coach, so she sounds like she's agreeing with most of the stuff that you believe in, right? In terms of identifying that one thing that you're good at. But it's always easy to say, identify the one thing that you're good at. How does one put themselves in a position where they're easily identifying what they're good at? What are the indicators? Something that can tell you that you're good at this. What are the things that someone has to look at to know that I'm actually good at this?
All right, so...
there are people who are 60, 70. They don't know what they're good at.
Yeah, I know. And because those are most of my clients, actually. I will let Grace...
Your clients are 60 and 70.
No. People who are not sure what the one thing is for them.
Okay.
So I'll let Grace answer that part because that's not where I start from. So where I start from is because a lot of the population that I serve does not know, right? And I don't have the time in 1 week or in 3 days to help them figure out what the one thing is. My starting point is I don't want that philosophy to be a limiting factor to you starting.
Which philosophy is that?
Of find your purpose. Even if you don't know your purpose, it doesn't mean you can't start. So that's where I start from. As you worry about how do I find the one thing, how do I find my purpose, I'm more, let's get started right now and learn quickly. Believe me, as you learn, you will find it. As you grow and evolve, you will find it. As you get mentors, you will find it. As you read books, you will find it. Right?
So you're basically saying start. The purpose will find you along the way.
It will find you if you don't know it already. For some people, they know it from childhood. Some traits, people just can tell that you are a teacher. Like me, I think from after varsity, people started seeing that, when we study and when we come and revise with you, we understand it faster because you have a way of breaking it down. I didn't know that was a purpose type thing, but later as you grow and do it more and more and you do it at scale and you do it with entrepreneurs and you do it in big rooms, someone gives it a name. That's your purpose. And then I think that makes sense, right? But I'm more on start even if you don't know what that purpose is, even if you don't understand the jargon. Get started, people. You will learn, you will figure it out. Trust me, you will always figure it out. What I don't like is someone holding on to, I want to find my purpose, and getting stuck 6 years trying to find what the purpose is.
Sure.
Am I making sense?
Continue.
So as you are growing, then your question comes to the fore, which is why I was saying Grace can answer it because she's helping people find it, right?
Yeah.
She can identify things that you look at to identify it and to say, all right, so this is my thing.
Do I have to find my purpose first to make money? Why
That's a tough one.
Is that a dumb question?
No.
Okay.
No.
Or it's the question you would have asked. Okay, that's why you're laughing. I see that.
It's a challenging question because you can make money outside of your purpose. You can. But if you want to stay, because there's challenges in business, right?
Sure.
And usually why people quit early or before time, prematurely, is because they feel like, you know what, I didn't really like this anyways. This wasn't really my thing. So what keeps someone in that business that's producing money in a certain season, what keeps someone there even when they're not doing well is the purpose, because purpose anchors you. So if you find purpose in your business, even in those winter seasons, you stay, you tough it out. Because you know, I'm born for this. Yes, it's raining, I'm not making money, it's hard for me to, make ends meet, but I'm staying here because I'm like, this is where I'm supposed to be. And there's that sense of belonging that we also started, we had spoken about, mentioned earlier, to say that you become a tree that's rooted. Deep, deep, deep roots. That is what purpose does. It roots you.
So could we say that the purpose then is the actual why?
Yes.
Like the why that keeps on, like if things are tough, you go back to why did I even start this thing in the first place?
Precisely.
I have a question for both of you, though.
You have a question?
Precisely.
Because as much as it anchors you and it can keep you from quitting, sometimes that can be a problem.
Yeah, because you're anchored, but you're not
Anchored, it's not working. Sometimes
I see where you're going, but ask the
I
question.
want your take on this one, because
Whose
sometimes
take? Both of us.
both of you, count yours as well, because it can be a problem. There are many people that should have let their business go 5 years ago, and now they've lost their family because the business was a passion project and they just can't let it go. Right? And sometimes it doesn't even have to be your passion. It gets even deeper. If it's your passion and you get old, you pass away, and then the kids inherit that business and the business wasn't working. Now they can't let it go because it was daddy's passion and they were attached to you.
Sure.
And in trying to just make daddy's passion survive and work.
It's like working for daddy's legacy.
Yeah, so it doesn't even have to be just your passion alone. Parents and legacy. So the anchoring can also be a problem.
Okay. So what's the question?
What's your take there? Do you stick to it even if it's not working?
Is that question for me?
That's the question for you.
I don't have attachment issues when it comes to...
So you don't have purpose attachment issues?
No, I don't. If something is not working, I move.
To what?
So that's me. I find
if it's not your
So
purpose?
Here's the thing, right? A business is not your purpose. A particular business is not your purpose. Your purpose might be to serve people, for instance. The question is, how am I serving? So the business is just a vehicle, right? I could serve them through property. I could serve them through speaking. I could serve them through a store. I could serve them through a podcast. The main thing is that I'm serving people. So I think the problem becomes, no, I really want to serve them through this thing, but this thing is not working. You want to sell classes because you saw Carol Bauer sell classes. Like, it's my purpose to sell classes. Perhaps it is your purpose to serve people, but maybe you shouldn't be selling classes because maybe you're just not skilled. And for me, the thing is that you can be passionate about something and be terrible at it. But you are passionate. You are terribly passionate about it. But you're not good at it, right? Because sometimes the fact that you are passionate about something does not necessarily mean you'll make money from that thing.
Back to Ikigai.
Yeah, you are passionate, you're good at it, but maybe perhaps you're not even making money from it. It happens, right? So that thing the question that you're asking me is more business related, and I answered you and said, I'm not attached.
I wanted your personal take.
I think if I'm going to look at something and I see that it's not working, I need to look at it and say, it's been great. I've learned some lessons. I'm letting you go. Bye-bye.
Okay?
But we different as people. Some people, you know that movie Acrimony? That guy held on for 18 years, isn't it? I don't know, was he passionate or did he see something that others couldn't? But Oxalayo, 18 years, he kept on doing that battery over and over and over. And it paid, and he made money from it. And people were saying, let this thing go. So sometimes it could be that there is an inner knowing that you know for a fact when this hits, and okay,
I like the example, by the way.
also, you can't be so attached and passionate about something that won't even hit and make you big in 20 years. You are passionate about this thing that you are doing, but it doesn't have any prospect of it being properly commercialized later. Can you see that might be a problem? And sometimes your passion might be too small. You are passionate, but it's a small dream.
Anyway, now your passion can be too small. Go deeper, Baba.
Yeah, it's possible because we are passionate about different things. That's why yesterday we talked about the fact that we gave an example. We're interviewing a doctor, and we said she was a doctor at a hospital first, right? Then she started a practice but was not doing well. But there was someone who was starting hospitals equally black as her. And that person who started a hospital, there's another person who starts a group of hospitals and goes across Africa. So there's a level in this passion thing.
Okay. No, I get you.
You get, sure.
I get you. What was your take? I know you answered me proper.
Sure.
I wanted your personal take on it because I've seen...
And it's a book, by the way. If you read my book, you'll find your purpose. I kid you not.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. I have no campaign.
Sure. I think, though, we should maybe take time to distinguish between purpose and passion. I feel like we didn't really break that.
Purpose is what you are born to do.
Purpose is what you are born to do, and passion is what you like. Like you were saying, that there's certain things that you're passionate about that might not necessarily yield, the money that you want or the profits that you're working with. So when you spoke about a passion project, I think that's slightly different, or there's a big difference between purpose and a passion project. So I am passionate about poetry.
Can I explain one thing with why I said it that way?
Yes.
It's just an English thing.
Yeah.
The English dribbled him. That's what he's saying.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just the English. It's a problem.
So
to other time.
I'm just a simple guy.
I like that. So with you.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it.
In other way with you.
No. Yeah, I think, But
It's an English thing.
What I'm saying is, passion and purpose, it's all the same as I conceptualize it. So I can just interchange and switch and mean the same thing.
I see what you mean.
Right?
Yeah.
So I just say it loosely like that.
Okay.
And I'm not worried about it because for me, when you're an entrepreneur, it's, if you look at the Ikigai concept, it's looking at the things you're good at, the things that you love doing, the things that the market needs. Along there, you say you found your purpose. To me, passion, purpose, it's an English thing. I don't know the English dictionary to say how do I distinguish them. So I just switch them.
Yeah. Okay, let me help you with a definition.
Yeah.
The purpose of a thing is what that thing was intended for, designed for, created for. So it's why you were born, purpose. So if you were born to speak, you'll find yourself speaking. That's your purpose. If you were born to be an engineer, you'll find yourself doing engineering. Passion is a completely different thing altogether, right? For instance, I might be passionate about cars, but maybe that's not the reason why I was born. But I'm passionate, right? And perhaps I'm even terrible at driving, but I'm passionate about it. That's it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Because passion is what you love. It drives you the way you wake up in the morning. But purpose is, this is the reason
Teach one of us.
why.
Don't keep looking at me. I was asking for everyone else.
Oh, yeah. So purpose is, this is the reason why I was born. Right? Maybe I was born to serve. But I'm passionate about that thing. I'm passionate about that thing. And I'm passionate about coffee, and I make terrible coffee, but I'm still passionate. It's a passion nonetheless. Yeah.
So I totally agree with that. And thank you so much for clarifying the language, because it's important that when we, express ourselves, we speak in what we mean, I guess. And you've done such a great job with that. So I just think, with the distinguishing that we've also received from Mr. Mdaka, is that your purpose is what you're born to do, and you cannot escape that. And your passion is what you currently might be enjoying. So passion changes over time. If you were passionate about netball before you became a mother of 4, you might not be passionate about netball now, because things have changed, your body has changed, your priorities have changed, and that influences what you're passionate about. So I think in order for us to find what we're really meant to do, we must focus on what I believe I was born to do. But I think we've covered that.
Okay, I'm going to open up the questions to the floor. Is that clear? On purpose, passion, okay.
And profits.
And profit. Ish, I like that.
I like that too. I think I should coin that.
You should coin it.
I should coin that.
No, that's mine. It's in my book.
Passion and profit. Is it your big things you see now?
Passion, purpose, and profits.
And profits. But that was teamwork though.
That was teamwork. I think we did well.
Thank you. Yeah, any questions? Anyone with a question? Oh, it could be a question, comment, or teach us something. Question or comment? Ellie? Thank you for leading. Nice one. Come through. Yeah, come through. Yeah.
What I wanted to say is the whole thing about passion and purpose. I think there are many young people who walk around actually with a weight on their shoulders saying, I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what my purpose is. And I think it's a problem when we put too much emphasis on people, expecting them to just find their purpose overnight. If I look at my long journey to wholeness, my long business journey over several companies, then there were many times when I started out where it was not entirely, some aspects of it were not entirely my passion, but some aspects of it were my passion. And what I did was every single job I ever had, from being a trade unionist to being a consultant to being an entrepreneur to being a speaker, writer, coach, etc., have all led me to who I've become now. They've all been part of my purpose-making machine, if that makes sense. And so when I look back at the people I worked for over time, and there were some people that I worked for, and I thought, that's the kind of boss I don't want to be. So if you use every single opportunity you have, no matter what job you're in, no matter how stale you feel, no matter how awful you think they are, look at it as what can I learn from the awfulness. And the other aspect of it that I wanted to just touch on is that whole thing about starting businesses and then they don't work. And there's actually a theory around that called the loss avoidance theory.
Loss avoidance
theory. And it's based on the story of a pilot who was so convinced that he had to do X or Y that the plane crashed. So what happened in my entrepreneurial journey with my husband, we started several different companies. Some are afloat now and some we let go.
You forgot to add the word successful. Several successful companies.
Yeah. It's relative, but they're successful. So I think what was interesting, what I noticed with my husband, was that he had far more loss attachment. He was far more attached to the dream. And I was the one who had to kind of prod in him and say, this guy, this partner, he's a nice guy, but he's a lot of hot air, and this isn't going anywhere.
Sure.
And this has cost us 2 million rand of whatever it was, of attempted trials to make, it's not going anywhere. And I almost had to be the more strategic one to pull the plug because he was more emotionally attached. Does that make sense?
Yeah, attached to the passion, attached to the dream and the business.
Yes, he had become, one was a filing app. It's called Easy File. he had become Mr. Easy File, even though Mr. Easy File wasn't making any money.
Sure.
No, it was so deep in his heart. And then he found another passion and another passion and another purpose and another purpose. So I think my message to younger people is, I think what you were saying, Coach, is find the learnings in everything. And in the process, you will grow. Having our main manufacturing company for 25 years, that has grown me like never before. That has humbled me and had me on my knees. You don't want to know how many times. On my knees. But that has been my growth. And my greatest joy has been growing people, not money in the bank. My passion is to grow people. That when they come out of working for us, whether it's 5 years, 10 years, 18 years, they come out a slightly different person than they were when they came in. So that's all I wanted to add to the thread in terms of passion and purpose. That, you know, I'm only really found my true purpose, my part purpose directed me there. When I always thought I wasn't a salesperson, but I became a landscaper, designer, thought leader, because that was how I sold. I didn't sell for money. I sold my ideas. I sold my passion. I read every book on architecture. I read every book on landscaping. So that I wasn't selling anymore. I was just sharing. So I think that's what I wanted to share a little bit about the passion and purpose.
Amazing. And the prophets were there too, ne?
That came.
Yeah, of course.
And
do you think the prophets followed the passion and the purpose?
Unquestionably.
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 So it's a byproduct.
Yeah. And the more you focus on being an excellentist, as my business partner over there always says, the thing that taught me the most, people laugh, was working in the trade unions where there was no working hours. We worked until 3 a.m. if we had to work till 3 a.m. And the people that battle the most with starting a company are often those that come from a corporate environment, which is clock in and you clock out, and it's not your problem anymore. Sure. They often battle. But the people who, we didn't have a business background, neither did my husband. My husband doesn't go to matric. So that's our background. But part of that was an incredible drive to not succeed at all costs. But the one morning we looked at one another, we said, what's the worst that can happen? We'll have egg on our face. But that's what everybody laughed at us when we started a company 25 years. They all laughed at us. And so it was more the case of, this is in my soul. Yes. What if I don't do this? And what if I'm on my deathbed and I never knew what it was to try?
Sure.
So I think that's smart.
Amazing. Thank you, Alison.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that, Alison.
So, you guys, to get more context in terms of what she's talking about, you guys should check out a company called Creative Stone. See the cladding that you have at your houses? Cladding by the gate, outside, cladding inside. She produces that.
Sure.
And they've been in business for more than 25 years, right? So any other comment, question? Welcome, Mr. Zwane. Yes, we're talking about passion, purpose, and profit. Could be a question, could be a comment. By the way, the question doesn't have to be limited to the triple P.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nico. I'm kind of nervous, ne? So if my English data bundles
don't worry, you was coach. English is not a problem.
That's what's happening here.
All been trained by English.
Yeah.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah. I kind of feel like there is so much pressure when coming to the issue of purpose. And my view when it comes to that particular thing of purpose, I don't know whether it's a question or it's a comment, I'm not sure. But I find it difficult when people tell us to find our purpose. I don't know if it makes sense. For example, you cannot tell the eye to find its purpose, or else the person that knows the eye, it's the one that created it. I don't know if it makes sense. So I kind of feel like we live in a generation whereby a lot of us, we are driven to a point whereby we are depressed emotionally, and we find ourselves comparing ourselves with other people, only to find out that eventually they did not find a purpose, but along the way somehow their purpose found them. I don't know, for example, I can give it the example by Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey was doing a certain job before he became a comedian. Then it happens that he was invited to a place whereby it was a comedy show. And after he spoke and made people laugh, that was when he discovered, oh, actually, this is what I'm going to do. So it might happen that your purpose is not something that you're supposed to find. It's something that will find you while you are doing something. I don't know if it makes sense. So that is my comment. I just want to encourage someone to say, don't pressurize yourself when coming to purpose. Others, they are good at something, yet they are miserable at the very same thing that they are good at. We have people that are good in terms of technology, but at the end of the day, they are depressed in that IT thing. Only to find out that there is something that one day it will find you. You will not find it. That is my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Bryce, do you think we should wait to be found by the purpose, or is it something that we need to do to find the purpose?
I think it depends on how patient you are. And it also depends how quickly you want to succeed. You spoke about an iron, as in an iron to iron clothes. And you said that it's the person who irons that knows the purpose, or the person who created the iron. But we didn't go deep to ask, does the iron know that it is an iron? Do you know what I mean? Like, does it know? Is it self-aware? Uba, I'm waiting for someone to come and use me so I can know what I'm good at. Like, I can know that I can actually steam clothes. I can actually make a suit look good. That's my purpose. But I'm waiting for someone to use me or utilize me or to put value on what I am. But do I know what I am? So the question then would be, does the iron know that it is an iron? So
how does the iron figure out that it's an iron?
This is the work that the iron must do.
Okay.
It mustn't just sit there, because let's assume that the iron can think. And it's there in the kitchen, and it's surrounded by pots and kettles, depending where you place your iron. And it's saying, yeah, but I don't look like this, and I don't look like this. So maybe what am I? Because they don't use me to cook. They don't use me to clean. They use me for clothing. What is my value here?
Yeah.
So the I must know what it is before it even discovers what it's used for.
Awesome. Thank you. Mr. Z, how are you? I see you are raising your hand. I didn't know you can raise your hand.
I can.
I thought you just speak.
No. Yeah, man, this is amazing. Kimufana. Even though he's like, but he is, Anyway, good afternoon, guys. The issue of purpose. This is what I always say. What is the one thing that people use you for the most without paying you? Think about it. What is the one thing that people are always coming to you for? And to you, it's the easiest thing to do in the world. It doesn't even feel like you're doing anything at all. And then when you do it, you're like, but this is nothing. But people keep coming. How do you know the value of your purpose? It's a couple of things. The frequency of demand for the thing you do. How often do people ask you to come and do the thing that you do so naturally? For you, it's so easy, you don't even feel like you have to charge money for it. Can you think about it? Are you stay with me? Think with me along this one, because this is how you find your purpose. It's very rare that your purpose will find you.
So it's not interacting. You're walking there and says,
no,
I'm here for you.
Absolutely not. Steve Harvey, not to contradict what you say, my brother, Steve Harvey was telling jokes and people loved him for his jokes already. He was doing the job for survival, but he was miserable at doing that job. In fact, he was still writing jokes for other comedians until one of his friends said, hey, what's wrong with you? These people are making money off of something that you're doing so naturally. It wasn't until he did it for himself and he saw the value in return that he realized, oh my goodness, this is actually what I'm born to do. From a very young age, from grade 1, I was asked to come and do, plays at school. I found myself in debate teams. In fact, my wife is here, and we went to the same school.
You're supposed to say, my beautiful wife
My
is
gorgeous wife, my absolutely gorgeous, beautiful wife is here.
Tuck off.
We went to the same high school. In Matric, when they had a debate competition, I was so insecure. I didn't even raise my hand to actually be part of the debate team until the English teacher said to me, go and get involved. And the next thing you know, I won the competition. But because of poverty, I didn't have the money to go to the next rounds of the debates. And then Nikki, the white girl that came after me, she won the regional competitions. But along the way, whether it was in the church where I was asked to come and preach, whether it was in the family events where I was asked to come and be the one that says something, it was always communicating to me. Now, here's another way to find out. What is the one problem that bothers you so much that every time you see it, your blood boils? And you're thinking, my goodness, can somebody do something about this? But the fingers are pointing at you because you are the one that it bothers the most.
Sure.
So those are some of the questions you can ask about finding your purpose. The problem is that we link purpose too much with money. The thing about it is that the more excellent you are at being yourself, you will automatically bring value to your ecosystem. When you are yourself, you automatically bring value. Whether it be humor, whether it be communication, whether it be resolving problems, whether it be being an entrepreneur, whether it be that you're providing platforms like this, like that Witness is providing. The thing is that the more value you bring in your ecosystem, the more it develops, the more valuable it becomes, the more it'll bring income towards you. The challenge is that most of us equate purpose with money. We're thinking it's about how much money I'm making. And I want to put it to you at this particular moment, and my wife is here as a witness, because when I started this whole journey of speaking, she used to ask me, like, dude, when is the money coming? Like, are we going to start making? Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? Yeah, I get it that you're going to a radio, but they're going to pay you. You know?
Yeah.
But when what you do starts becoming so valuable that people start to depend on it, that they see it as a solution for their specific problems in their lives, then the money starts to come. And then here's another important question that people start asking. When you become really good at one thing, they start asking you, what else are you good at? When that question starts coming, then you know you have done your bit to actually manifest and to bring to fruition your value within your purpose. Hopefully the answers that I've put it kind of helps you to get to that point a little bit.
You know what I love about what you just said?
Yes.
When you read the first chapter of It's More Than Just Money,
Yeah.
Significance is Calling, will you answer? I say in the book, you must, your significance and your purpose is tied to two things. Mm-hmm. The things that make you angry and the things that excite you. So what you ought to do is find solutions to the things that make you angry and aggravate you, and build more excitement around the things that excite you. That's where your purpose is.
I love that. Let's expand on that a little bit. Let me show us. I'm going to start putting, can I put you on the spotlight?
Put me on the spotlight.
Okay.
Where's the light? Oh, it's here.
Let's start with the things that made you angry the most. What really
I hate
you
to me. Let me tell you. And I always say this. You see, when I drive,
Yeah.
so I'm driving, and I drive past a place that has got shacks,
Yeah.
and I know very well that it's black people living there, my heart breaks. Because I ask myself, are we God's stepchildren or what? How come other people are enjoying heaven here on earth?
Yeah.
And you are told to go enjoy heaven there in heaven. They say in heaven you're going to walk on streets of gold. Have you ever touched gold?
Yes.
How do you know it's real or fake when you get to heaven? So you must touch it now so that you get to Jesus and say, yeah, no, this one is not bad. Why? Because you know it.
Because you know it, yeah.
Understand? But when you find spaces where black people are subject to poverty. And that's what breaks my heart.
Yeah.
And maybe perhaps that's why with the little bit of knowledge that I have, I want to teach the next person. Here's how you can invest in property. Here's how you can start a business. I've been talking about this thing since I was in my teens. Understand? Because for me, it's a thing of, I totally believe that people can take knowledge and convert it into money.
Yeah.
You understand? And what excites me is being in spaces where I get to have people around me. Hey, I'm jumping with joy inside right now.
Yeah.
Because there are people around me and I see it's quality people. You know, it's like the presence of God is here.
Yeah.
Because there are people.
Yes. It's true.
So those are the things that make me angry and those are the things that excite me.
Also. And I think if we take that framework that Witness has shared, because for me it's the same thing. What really breaks my heart and gets me very angry is when people can't think through the simplest things in life. When they look at something that in my mind is so simple, but then they overcomplicate it, and the next thing you know, they're upset. The next thing you know, they're making the worst decisions in the world, and the world is coming to an end over something that, for me, when I look at it, is so simple. That makes me upset. But what excites me is when somebody looks at whatever it is that they're facing, and then they realize, oh my goodness, I can actually solve this thing, and actually starts taking steps to get it sorted out. And for me, it's linked to the fact that I grew up as a black person where you're told all the time what you can't do. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. Let's think about it this way, guys. The issue of the whole snakes thing, it's a mindset. That when a black person succeeds, they must have a snake. It's a mindset that says that you, people who look like you, are not able to achieve the things that certain people who don't look like you can achieve. The reason why prophets and all the scammers come to our communities to sell to us what we can be able to achieve, God-given talents and intelligence and abilities, is because we've been made to believe that we are not able to achieve those things. As a matter of fact, some people here might even have a problem with the fact that here is this black man speaking the English the way they're speaking it. Why is he trying to be white? Like how, think about that. Think about the fact that when another person from another race speaks Sesotho and speaks it very well, nobody complains.
We get
They're not a bit excited. That ukhuluma isiZulu njengomZulu. Well, I hope I got it right with my Sesotho accent. Right? Why? But why is it all of a sudden a person with my pigmentation, the moment they start to sound like, speak like the Queen and they speak the language in line with the original speakers of the language, all of a sudden it's a problem. Why? It's a mindset problem. It's a mindset problem. All of a sudden, when a young person achieves a certain level of success, we want to know, who do they slaughter? Who's their inyanga? Who is their God? Who have they cheated? If it's a woman, who has she slept with? If it's a guy, who has he sold himself out to? It is a mindset problem. And those are the things that when I was growing up, that used to bother me so tremendous, so deeply. And I'm so glad that much later on in my life, God has placed me in a place and in a space where I'm able to contribute meaningfully to breaking down those negative, horrible mindsets. And that's part of the reason why I actually chose the title of calling myself a mindset development specialist. Because I realized that you've got to find a way to develop your own ways of thinking to lead to the outcomes that you want. And so I stand here with pride, with excitement, to see the level of manifesting that brilliance and that excellence, which for me is not black excellence. I'm sorry, I don't believe in that at all. Excellence is a human trait. And it should not have a special category all of a sudden because it has been manifested by somebody who has my pigmentation. Because it's a mindset again. we are as capable as any other human being. As a matter of fact, we have been blessed in Africa with so many troubles and struggles that should actually give us superior intelligence and an ability to solve problems because of how many problems we're facing every freaking day. And for that reason, we should actually be the one that are manifesting excellence everywhere. Why do you think South Africans do so well when they leave South Africa? Regardless of race. Anyway, let me hand it back to you. Thank you so much. I'm very proud of you, brother. I'm very excited to see what we're going to do, what's going to happen this year, and continue supporting the work that you feel strongly about. And I'm very glad, I'm very proud of all of you here, that when you saw the post, you didn't sit there thinking, I'm not going to go there. That one thinks he saw what? And then let that thing that you feel sometimes stop you from making the good decision for yourself. And for that, it's encouraging for me. And I want to say, well done, keep supporting, keep building. At the end of the day, we will change this country one step and one action at a time. Thank you.
Wow. All right. Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Z. And guys, no matter how amazing something is, sometimes things have got to end. Even good things, eh? So this is a good thing, and we've come to the end of our recording. Grace, do you have any final words? I see Coach has got ADHD, I'm telling you. Coach is now a cameraman. And he was a host. I promise you can't.
And a coach.
And he's a coach. You can't sit still, can you? It's your purpose. I see that. You're doing your thing. So I don't know if you want to give him a mic to quickly say goodbye to our audience. Come stand here. They don't see you there on YouTube. Say goodbye. Say some nice words. Coach them on something. And then Grace will close. They can't see you. Or they can see you here. Okay.
See, I know tech.
Yeah, you know that. Yeah.
But I want to say to everyone joining us live, I think this is heartwarming to see the support for my brother that you're showing, the support for yourself as well. Because one thing I've learned, actually it's one of my 2 resolutions, New Year's resolutions. I don't know if I can even call it that. Just to put your best foot forward and just accept that you will learn, you will evolve, you will grow and challenge yourself. And that doesn't happen if you don't expose yourselves to an environment like us. I like one thing that you say that was so deep, that does the iron know that is an iron? And also she took it even further, says place that iron in the kitchen. And to me what that was saying is, even if you've got the talent, even if you've got the voice and the ability, if you are in the wrong place, no one will discover it, right? So I think it's just being conscious enough to expose yourself, to learn, to evolve, to challenge yourself. That takes you to the right places as well. It's not sitting at home. It's not feeling sorry for yourself. So if you want to make 2024 the best year of your life, it really actually starts now with intention, with the exposure and places you take yourself to, with what you start absorbing that you've never tried before and what you start trying that you've never tried before. So from my side, it's more than just money. Thank you.
Signing out. Coach. Grace, the rose amongst the 2 thorns.
It's nice to be a rose. I just wanted to firstly just say this is such a God move. God has just started really early this year with us. Everyone who's in this room has an appointment with destiny, a successful destiny. And so I'm really, really grateful to what God is doing. And I want to thank Mr. Mdaka for inviting me into the space. I kept on saying to him, every time I walk into the store, there's this energy of speed and success and life in this place. But I also feel that that's something that he carries with him. So I want to thank you so much, Mr. Mdaka. It was really good to partner with you on this. Thank you for your humility and just your generosity of your knowledge, your wisdom, and your resources. So I don't take that for granted. I'm really grateful to be seated here today and for the past 3 days. And to everyone who's in the room, thank you so much for bringing positivity and just the right attitude into the space. You've definitely contributed to the success of this project. And may everything that you go into this year be an absolute success. And when it is, please reach out to us and let us know how it goes. So thank you.
Yeah, and from me to everybody that's here, I'd like to thank you all for coming out to check out the It's More Than Just Money pop-up store. You know, we've got the It's More Than Just Money movement. We went around the country engaging with people, helping them build the right kinds of mindset to start businesses and invest in property. I'm just a young guy from Tembisa. I see some of my neighbors are here, you know, and for me, it's heartwarming to see all of you seated here. And I appreciate each and every single one of you. Thank you for adding value. Today, just by being here, you've added value to us. You know, you've added, because it validates the work that we are doing. You know, we can't sit here and talk to ourselves if you guys are not here. So you made this possible. You made it a success. Thank you for supporting the YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe. Get subscribed to the It's More Than Just Money YouTube channel. If you're on YouTube, watching this on YouTube, don't just watch. Please click on that subscribe button. Click on the notifications bell. Look at the quality of people that we interview there, you know, and we are not just taking anyone and interviewing them. We're looking for people that are actually looking to add value into people's lives. You know, I always say that I'm always praying for South Africa to prosper, because if the citizens are prospering, it means you and I can start businesses and we'll have customers that have got money to buy from us. Again, so each one, teach one, each one help us, help one. From me to you, I say it's more than just money. From me and my team, broadcasting from Johannesburg, South Africa, at Mall of Africa. Shout out to Mall of Africa management for allowing us to do this. It's more than just money. See you in the next episode. Ciao, ciao.